What's up, Champions fam? It's Zeke 410 back with a brand new WWE Champions video, and we are here today with another Champions Lounge Q&A session. So mad love and many thanks to each and every single one of you who took the time out to leave your questions within the comments of my previous videos. I'm truly humbled. I'm truly grateful for this, and also many thanks for all of the support and love. We've made it to 900 subs, 1,000 coming, and that's not the finish line. We're just going to keep on pushing, keep on going, more content to come, more adventures to come, more topics of discussion to have. And regardless of if you agree with my opinion or if you disagree, to each his own. I got nothing but love for you. It takes more energy and effort to hate than it does to share love and show respect. So let's dive on in, and forgive me if this is too short, sweet, and brief to your liking, and forgive me if this is too long-winded for your liking, but I hope you're with me until the very end. We're going to dive on in and answer these questions. This is not going to be anything scripted, anything premeditated. We're going to answer these questions right here and now with the raw, uncut truth. So let's dive on in and let this Q&A session begin. First question, Richie Gaming, why broski did you stop doing gameplay videos and why no more? And I want to know what faction you are in. The answer to the latter part of this question is I am in the Phoenix Rises faction Familia. So shout out to my broskies and my siskies, Mima, Anna, DJ Fuego, Blyaz, Bradley, Big Jake. What's popping to each and every single one of you? Mad love always to all of y'all, and many blessings your way. The answer to the former part of this question, though, is quite frankly, if you're talking about exclusive champion gameplay, well, I am no longer a part of the Scopely Content Creator Group alongside the greats DJ Anon ZT, David Boy, Davey D, Benny, Big Papa Brian, and the OG Gerson. But I always will have nothing but love and respect for them, and I am grateful for the opportunity that I had there. So, due to me no longer being there, I'm not able to do 5-star gameplay on exclusive champions that are getting ready to be released, or doing 5-star gameplay on champions that are already out now that many people might have on their rosters. And another thing is this, I don't really do gameplay videos like that anymore for the simple fact that I know that I don't have the roster to give everybody what they want. That's why OG Gerson's so blessed to provide it for everybody, because he has a roster that's set up that he can show you free-to-play builds for champions. He can show you pay-to-play builds for champions. And when it came to gameplay videos on my channel, they never did the best numbers. Now, the last gameplay video that I did was the AEW Champions video where I was just joshing around. I was just having a little bit of fun using champions that are no longer in the WWE but have moved on to AEW. And it did get a lot more hits than my usual gameplay vids. But I also realized that, hey, I'm known for doing things on this channel that might be different from how the others do things on their channel. Everyone has their niche. Everyone has their spot, their role within the community. And I'm just going to continue to fine-tuning mine, and gameplay just isn't there. But I might go ahead and do some future gameplay videos just for kicks and giggles, like how I did the AEW one. But anything serious, though, I know that I'm not the one to go to. More than likely, if we were literally going by the numbers, the OG Gerson, he always has the most hits on his videos when it comes to content creators. And the others, they have their videos that get their shine, but Gerson's usually the guy that's the mainstay that everyone's running to go to him to see what's going on. And with how this community is based off of meta tiers and everything like that, I don't even have a 5-star bronze yet. So I highly doubt people would be intrigued by seeing me doing like fodder level 1 runs with a 4-star bronze or a 3-star when we are in a 5-star bronze meta and we know 5-star silvers and golds are coming. So that's the reason why there. But I do appreciate you asking about it. But I'll do gameplay sporadically, but it's never going to be my bread and butter. That is for certain. But thank you, Richie. Mad love always, and thank you for the support, man. Next up is Josh Claiborne. Will Scopely ever reskin or release a newer superstar with trainer abilities of the outdated champions like Wade Barrett? He's back in WWE as NXT commentator, so maybe a possible re-release of him. His trainer ability could help a lot of players, but with him pulled from the game, a lot of newer players are SOL. This is a possibility. Whether it's going to happen anytime soon, I do not know. And also, another thing to consider are the contracts that WWE has with certain superstars, and that plays a role in the game with who can be used and who cannot. Now, a character to also bring up, because Barrett's ability is incredible with destroying red gems, would be Bradshaw, Trickster Bradshaw, who destroys purple gems. Okay, he is also another champion that we have yet to see, and even though Bradshaw has like a legacy contract or a legend contract with the WWE, and even though he was supposed to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, I don't know what's going on there, because in my opinion, now that we have the ruthless aggression era category, I feel that a wrestling god JBL would be crucial to improving the amount of superstars there, because of the simple fact of how many different classic rivalries he had. He was that be all end all heel that everyone hated and you wanted to see him lose, but he always came out on top through his trickery and everything. And the same thing could be said like with a King Booker. Those are guys that are missing, and I don't know what's going on there. But when it comes to Barrett, could we see a reskin? Yes, we could. Could we see a re-release? Yes, we could. But it all depends on how the paperwork's looking over there at Scopely and how things are going between champions in the WWE. With the reskinning, though, we've seen it with Enzo and ADR becoming Akam and Razor. It could happen again, but it's just a thing of when and if they're going to do it. So I wish I had a full answer there. I could, but all I can say is yes, it's a possibility for them to reskin a superstar or create a brand new superstar to bring it out. But they already introduced certain characters that kind of do the same thing, where now you have characters who have like basically a certain color move will destroy a certain type amount of gems. So like Zombie Nakamura or Gallows or I think Zombie Seth as well. There's certain characters that kind of fill in that spot, but it does fall upon what champions and Scopely and how things are, if they get an approval or not from WWE, and what's going to happen with reskinning or bringing out a new character overall that does have an older champion's ability. But we've seen them do it once. They could easily do it again and make things more fair in the game. But a lot of people do aim for move generation and MP compared to move destruction. But I also understand, depending on how you build, that's the cool thing about champions. You can run champions a different way compared to how everyone else is running. People could be running the things the left way. You might decide to go right. They might be going north. You might decide to go south, and you can find out a crazy build with trainers and coaches that others aren't even thinking about utilizing, and they might come across it in a feud or showdown and be like, I might try that out, and if it works, I'm going to go back to my faction fam and let them know what's up. But we just got to see where Scopely's at when it comes to that decision, but anything's possible right now, Josh. Very good question. Thank you. Following that, we got Motley Rage Gaming. What's up, bro? What it do, baby? Do you think it would be a good idea for Scopely to update the free bags that you are able to collect every 6 hours? Instead of getting 1 to 25 TP, 5 to 25 health packs, and 1 to 10 shards of Akam. Now, obviously, this is going to vary depending on what tier league you're what league tier you are in, obviously. I think it would make the game a little better if they up to free stuff within the bag. Okay, so up the amount. For example, I think giving the players an opportunity to win 50 to 100 TP, 25 to 75 health packs, 100k to 1 million coins, and change the superstar in the bag every month or every 2 months. The purpose of this is to give the players more resource opportunities and also an opportunity to earn a high dollar feature champion. I've only been playing this game since February. That's what's up. That's what's up. And I noticed resources are very hard to come by. But would you change the resources in those bags? And if so, what would you add or take out of the bags? Now, here's the thing. I absolutely agree. In my mind, we're in a 5-star meta now. And before that, we were in a 4-star meta. And I don't think that Champions has even thought about upping the amount of resources that need to be provided within this brand new meta, because in my opinion, we are getting 3-star resources in a 5-star meta, and it's making it very difficult for a lot of players, not just brand new players, but players that have been playing for years since the beginning, to make proper moves and advancements within their roster, especially now that we're getting a lot of, under the radar coaching and training abilities. Like, I just went and checked out my Seth Rollins Architect Striker, and I was just combing through my roster, and I realized, oh snap, now he has an ability, I believe, at 4-star as well as 5-star that helps increase his bleed damage capabilities. So there's always these new things that are coming into the game. The cost for taking a 4-star gold to a 5-star bronze is deep, man. Like, you're going to feel it, especially if you're not sitting on mad coins. You're going to feel it every time you upgrade a move. You're going to feel it every time you use your tokens. And I understand, like, we need an increase. We need to be there. And yes, they have provided more resources within the road with the Royal Rumble Tour, and that difficulty access for higher league tiers does benefit some. But we also gotta be realistic. Looking at how things are, yes, coin and TP contests that are rolling through every single week, you don't have to do those all the time. They're not a necessity. They're just there if you want to do it. But end game wise, you got to be sitting on mad resources, RESP, ECT, or TPCT. So seeing an overhaul of getting more TP, having a chance at least a guaranteed 50 of any color assortment TP, having a shot at 25 to 75 health packs, knowing that we don't get that many expeditions of gold anymore, and getting more coins. Like, literally, this means if they did this to the bag, I'm all for it, bro. That also means they need to update our daily class tours and our Dead Man daily as well, so we can have the proper amount of resources to match where we are in the meta. Because especially if you're new, if you're able to clear those clear those matches, clear those nodes, get those 3 stars, and you're able to get those auto clear tickets to make your day a little bit easier with clearing certain types of content, that's going to put you forward instead of backwards, because that's all it is. A lot of people are saving up to a certain amount, then, oh, I gotta work on this one, and I gotta work on their trainers, I gotta work on their coaches. Oh wait, they just got a new trainer or coaching ability update, so now I gotta take them up higher. People at first used to be like, oh, just leave Big John Studd at 3-star silver 5K, or leave Akam and Razor at 3-star silver 5K. Now they got 4-star bronze 9K abilities that are actually really good. It spreads you thin when you're trying to build up to get your first 4-star, let alone now trying to get your first 4-star gold or 5-star bronze. So updates to the quantity of resources in these bags would help out a lot. When it comes to the superstars, though, I would be reasonable. I wouldn't throw somebody like Hulk Hogan in these bags, but I would say, hey, after Akam, yellow MP trainer, why not throw Razor in there, green gem generation? After that, why don't we move over to the MP coaches, shine a little light? Obviously, you're going to have to pay for DX, HBK, and Triple H, but toss us Elias. Toss us Elias at like 2-star or something. Toss us Trickster Andre. Give us a shot at that. That would make things a little bit reasonable. Throw Rikishi in there. Throw X-Pac in there. Champions old units that are crucial when it comes to any roster. I think that would be far more reasonable to seek out. Or throw in a brand new exclusive champion. The same way you had to collect those suitcases so you could get shards to unlock Chad Gable. Bring in a new champion. Now that we got Zombie Striker Triple H, who has the MP reduction. Throw in another MP reduction coach within the free bags, and that'll make it more worthwhile to log in every day and collect as many bags as possible so you can get them. And if people stay up on it, you got a solid rotation, they drop solid amounts of shards per day or per hour, it's going to be easier to rotate those characters in and out of those bags without question. And there's going to be no excuse because they give you a proper gate, a proper opening to get them, and you can be on your business. What I would include, though, aside from here, 2-star silver tokens for sure. That's one of the hardest ones to come by. You might get RNG depending on like the chests and stuff you get from milestones for MLCs, but 2-star silver tokens are something that are highly, highly essential for any roster. Maybe 3-star rarity 2, maybe a chance at a 4-star, no 5-star gold or 5-star silver, but definitely 2-star silver tokens I would love to see in the bags, and include faction tokens as well so that people are able to help out. You need health packs to clear content, all sorts of content, and especially if you're trying to build up your amount so you can keep going and getting the rewards that you need for different types of contests, tours, and doing your blitzes and doing your feuds and your showdowns. You need more health packs and faction tokens so you can take care of your brothers and sisters within your faction, fam. This is a great idea here. I would love to see them do it, and it would be great for the community overall, because it's not like you're like outside the exclusive new champion that I mentioned. Everybody else that I mentioned, like Rikishi, X-Pac, Razor, Elias, Trickster, Andre, they've all been out for a while now. So it isn't like you're throwing someone a brand new busted unit, but they can also surprise us. Maybe like during the month of the anniversary for champions, literally you log in every day, you walk away with a top tier unit to commemorate your the anniversary of the game, and it's a solid unit, like another 6, someone that we didn't think would be that top tier, but they end up being essential. Or another crazy good character like Bailey or Carmella, another waifu, that would be dope. But solid question here, Motley Rage. Thank you for reaching out. Following this, my broski from Phoenix Rises, Bradley, okay? Bradley Cottermash. I hope I said your last name right, bro. Zeke, having peeked behind the curtain over at Scopely, what exactly is it that, in your opinion, is holding them back from fully listening to the community? We all understand that the game is in place to make money. No issue with that. The issue I have is that it has more or less become a pay-to-play game. Also, what are your thoughts on relying so heavily on your faction in order to succeed monthly? I've sort of lost all hope that things will ever go back in the right direction, sadly. Now, I might ruffle some feathers, pardon me, but I gotta be honest here on a couple of things. What is exactly holding them back? I truly, genuinely don't know. I honestly, on one side of me feels that maybe they just don't care. I also feel maybe it's money, because they're making so much money, even though the game is in a downward spiral and hasn't been that enjoyable for a while now, that they look at the numbers. They look at it and be like, well, people are still spending. And allow me to break this down to you. It isn't just the fact of like, oh, people are spending thousands of dollars to unlock this one or that one. Even smaller microtransactions of disposable income, that still adds up. If you got thousands upon thousands of players spending $20, they're still making a profit. Even if you got people just buying $5 offers for pulls, and you get a massive amount of people doing it, that's still them turning out a profit. And some people, it's the truth. You got to hit them where it hurts. The money, the spin ban that we tried to do was a joke. People took advantage of it. They're like, oh, well, y'all aren't spinning, but we're going to capitalize. And now it's because of how the game is, and I say it all and reference it all the time. There's a lot of people who play gacha games and they want to collect every champion. So they're going to spin. They're going to spend money regardless. But from the biggest amount, from spending thousands to even massive, like you could have a few people spending thousands of dollars, and then you could have a boatload of people spending $20. And the truth is like, regardless, they're going to turn out a profit. And as long as they turn out a profit, I don't think they're going to listen to the community whatsoever. There might be a few things that sneak through, but outside of that, they basically are just going to be like, whatever. I don't hear you. I'm falling deaf at the moment. I don't hear you because I'm counting so much money. It's going ka-ching ching. And truth be told, there's a lot of people that you might not suspect to be caring about the community overall, because everyone likes to split the community apart. But we're all in the same pool here. Whether you're free to play or pay to play, whether you're unranked or in a top 10 faction, people care. People go fighting for the community overall, not just for a specific part. It isn't just, oh, the whales looking out for the whales, or the top the top factions looking out for themselves. They actually care because some of those people remember what it's like starting at nothing. And when you got the whales, when you got the leaders of top 5, top 10, top 20 factions speaking up and leaving beautifully articulated, constructed criticism, and it's falling on deaf ears, that's when you know that there's a real problem. When people are literally logging in as soon as content becomes live, taking the time out to use their VIP access to hell mode to sort through everything, the pinpoint all the glitches and bugs of the latest tours, the latest blitzes, and they're trying to help improve the game, and they're not, and Scopely and Champions aren't listening, or the community manager isn't listening. It gets to a point like you don't know what's going to happen. And it does look like it's going to be a pay-to-play game for a while. Unfortunately, it's just the God honest truth. It's being built to be a pay-to-play, pay-to-win situation and environment, unfortunately, bro. And when it comes to my thoughts on relying heavily on your faction, I despise it. I really feel that a lot of players would be further ahead if things were just based on your solo progression. If they were able to change up the gaps between milestones, if they sorted it out where after you completed a solo contest and those points go towards your faction. I know that they have it set up like that here in the game now, but everything's too far in between that it's literally becomes a joke in certain types of content, especially when you look at blitzes. Like, you could be maxing out blitzes and getting legendary straps that could change not just your account, but everybody's account. Like, even players who don't have a 4-star yet could have a legendary strap that they're sitting on for later that could help them turn the tide around in certain situations of crucial content. And you know that you do your part, and you're sitting there, you look at the number and you realize, wow, we had a whole week to do this, and this person hasn't done nothing. Hasn't done nothing. They aren't healing. They aren't contributing. And yeah, the easy thing is to say kick them out. But there's also certain situations that do come up last minute that could happen that throw things off too, but it also becomes discouraging, especially when you're somebody who's growing in the game. Like, you got 4-star gold, you're about to get 5 stars, you're carrying your weight, you're doing your part, and you're seeing other people not, and you reach out and you try to contact them to be like, what's going on? And they say that they got you, and then when the timer runs out on that contest, you realize and look, as many times as they said that they got you, they didn't do nothing. They didn't. You see that they're logged on while you're logged in doing what you're supposed to do. And yeah, some people have the space and wiggle room where they can just kick people, and, get new people in and act like nothing happened. Some factions don't have that type of availability. Some people don't have that type of street cred where they can continue to move forth. And with how this game is, there's only a set amount of factions that are still running and gunning that literally have a big enough name to pull anybody in. No one isn't really making new factions anymore, so you're literally dealing with what you have and trying to hope to either turn a nightmare into a dream, or sustain a dream, or becoming a part of a machine. And a lot of people end up just looking at this as a game and don't take it as serious as others, and it becomes disheartening. So then you end up having people who've been playing for a long time, who want to see everyone grow, see everyone progress, their team player, but they realize they're not getting that same respect or effort back, and then they leave. They move on to other factions that are actually going to appreciate their efforts. So I do wish that we had more solo-based content that went somewhere. And I also wish that we had faction content that didn't have such a huge gap between milestones, so it would be more reasonable for people to engage and fully commit. But I doubt they're going to change it. Just like there's other things within the game that could easily been fixed and easily changed for the better. Champions is going to sit back and look at it like, well, we like how it is. We don't care what you think. And that's just the harsh truth. As long as they feel like nothing's wrong with their system, they're going to keep on applying it, and many are going to suffer, especially a lot of unranked factions and even some top 100 factions. It's just the irony of the beast. It's the irony of the machine, and it's harsh, but it's just the God honest truth, Brad. But I love you, man. Keep your head up and know that I'm here for you, and we just gonna keep on doing what we gotta do for the Phoenix Rise fam, because like anything, like the Phoenix itself, we rise from the ashes and we overcome controversy, and we'll do what we do with love and positivity along the way. But that's just the truth, man. It just seems like they don't care. They only care about the money, and until the money stops coming in, they ain't gonna really pay attention. And I really do wish that faction contests were made more equally and reasonable, so everyone could do their fair share, and it wouldn't be a obvious picking out, oh, you're not doing anything, because you got some players that might be strong in one field and then they suck in another. So it's literally depends on the hand that's dealt. But I hope things turn around, and I hope that your mindset adjusts for the better, bro. Mad love your way, man. Hit me up anytime. Next up, my boy Ashish Kumar in the future can Scopely add health packs and loot boxes, like 1 or 2 health packs per loot box. This would be amazing, because no lie, in my mind, I think to myself, imagine if you just picked up a random 20 health packs from a loot box. Get a 2-star silver token in one, you get 10 TP in the other, and then you get 20 health packs. Health packs are definitely something that should be a drop item by now. That's just me personally. Now, we do have the special blitzes and stuff that come around. So, yeah, they can weasel their way out of that situation there. And we got the free bags. We got the expeditions of gold that used to flourish in the game, and now they're scarce. They're like a unicorn. You only see them once in a blue moon, and you better hope and pray that you're able to hop in, because everyone's jumping in that bitch as soon as it pops up, right? But health packs are definitely something that should be a part of the game. I know that we get certain times where we get certain amounts of percentages of health restored in certain types of content, but health packs, no lie, man. I think health packs would be an incredible addition. I really feel, no lie, take the medals out of the loot boxes and put the health packs in. I don't think anybody would have a problem. Moving forward in this meta now, no lie, no joke, the RNG to get the 1-star tokens from the chest that we get from MLC content milestone rewards, it's huge. They say it's RNG, but you're more than likely going to get a bunch of those before you get any of the other star tokens. 2-star silver tokens, 3-star silver tokens. If you're on hell mode, depending on where you are, like Royal Rumble hell mode, there should be a chance for you to even pick up a 4-star token. I really feel the 4-star token should be included in your loot boxes, and obviously it ranges depending on the difficulty and what tour you're in or what content you're in specifically, and guaranteed between 5 to 10, maybe even 20 TP health packs. I think a lot of people will be happy with that, and a bigger boost to the amount of coins that you get too. If they just improve certain things, like I said, we're dealing with 3-star resources within a 5-star game. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely does not make sense. So seeing health packs and loot boxes moving forward would be great. Take the medals out, make the medals a thing like on the prize wall with your straps and stuff, like how we used to do, right? Get a bundle with some tier 4 medals and a strap, epic or legendary. We're good. We're Gucci. You got something to save up for. But regular loot box drops should easily be 2-star or higher tokens, maybe up to 4-star, possibly, depending on where you are, like what tier, what league tier you're in, and what tour you're playing, on what difficulty, obviously. You should also have TP in there increase, 5 to 20 maybe. Get lucky for a 20 drop. Health packs for sure. Definitely need some health packs and a boost to the coins. RESPECT, your TPCT, okay, your training posters, your coins and tokens. Everybody needs those, but health packs are just as important, and I could easily see them being a featured loot box reward. But yeah, we need more than one or two, bro. You know how much it costs to heal just a showboat, let alone a 5-star showboat? And yeah, come on, man. They just got to adjust it. 3-star resources within a 5-star meta, outdated as hell, okay? They really coming for the pockets. Next up, from my boy Ashish. In future, can Scopely make a trainer or coach for Leech Gems like Leech Gems Steel 25% more health? Yes, they could, and more than likely they will. But I can see this coach or trainer or coach being a prize wall champion that everyone would have to go balls to the walls for, because you got some solid Leech Gem champions and Eddie Guerrero, a Trickster, as well as Rated R Superstar Edge. And that would actually buff up a guy like Zombie Balor Tech Squalor Club. So Leech Gems are a thing that are very dangerous when used properly. And this is definitely a type of gem that needs it. It's a specialty gem that has to get a proper trainer or coach combination in the future. But I definitely see that trainer or coach being someone that you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to get real crazy lucky with the RNG gods and not get scoped on a Mega Superstar loot banner gotcha, or you're going to have to go in real deep when it comes to getting them from the prize wall and recruiting them like that, or the chase champion unlocking them that away. So yes, I can see there being a trainer and a coach tandem for Leech Gems. I could see it happening, but it would come at a great cost just because of how incredible and how crucially clutch those Leech Gems can be, because you can go from being half past dead to being halfway fully healed to next thing you know, you're all the way fully healed like an immortal. Like, it would make certain champions impossible to kill. So yes, I can see it happening, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. But if it does happen soon, just know it's going to come at a cost, my boy. Next up, why Scopely not make their own zombie characters like Trickster Randy Orton, the Undead Killer? They just copied the zombie toy line series. I'm leaving this in here now because in my previous video, I already discussed that we do actually have an original zombie character now in modern era powerhouse zombie Daniel Bryan, the Rising Dragon. So they are capable. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Just like I used to play 2K, just like how I used to play SmackDown versus Raw, okay? I like the idea of creating your own wrestler. And when I first started this game, I thought maybe because you're the manager, maybe you could customize your own manager to have a look or something. I would like, no lie, I would be dope with seeing them possibly. This would be cool. Hear me out. If we have, by our next anniversary for Champions, what if they reset the game to have an actual story mode? And you got a free-to-play champion that you could build. And I know this would cost a lot. I know it would. But at least you could have a pick of a custom free-to-play male or female champion. Like, their moves and stuff are already established or whatnot. But I literally feel they could come out with 2 champions per class. And as an anniversary gift, we get to pick one, male or female representative of that class, and that's your gift, and they're a top tier free to play unit. I could easily see it happening. Or they do a gotcha, they do a banner, a banner that features like WWE I was about to say zombies, WWE champion original characters. I think it would work. I think it would literally work, because it'd be the thing of getting characters that are all their own. And if they brought in a story mode, just because wrestling is about telling stories, man. I still can't get over the fact of how the game started with you becoming a manager, The Rock taking you and saying, I'll represent you. And you literally go through this first part of the story like basically recruiting people and getting them under your wing and talking to Vince like you believe in this kid or whatever. And, I like that idea. And then they just dropped it completely. So I would love to see maybe, possibly, next anniversary, you have the road. The road is obviously established at its own thing. We got the stipulation tours and marquee stipulation tours and stuff coming sometime down the pipeline. I would love to see a actual champion storyline where you got the right to choose to do babyface decisions and that affects a match somehow, or you do heelish decisions and that affects it. But I would love to see them like create a set of characters that are all original, and as a gift to us, no matter which ones we choose, male or female, you pick one of each gender, or you just pick one champion overall, and you go through their moves, you go through and see everything, and they're a busted free-to-play unit that everybody gets to commemorate the anniversary of champions, and they play a role as being required for the story mode, the same way we have match nodes that need certain requirements. But it's not like far-fetched. It's literally like the only requirement is you have to use that created original champion for that stuff. So they're already on it. They've already shown it with Powerhouse Brian Zombie. But I would like to see them go deeper. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt for them to create a couple other organic characters that are exclusive to the game, like Fate Grand Order. I had to bring it up sometime, right? They literally created a servant for the game as Mash Kyria. Like, she's literally exclusive to the game alone. Like, you don't find her anywhere else. She's included in the animes and stuff now, but she is literally created to go with that game. I would love to see them do the same here. Give us a male and female of each of the classes: Acrobat, Powerhouse, Showboat, Striker, Technician, and Trickster. And we get to pick one that suits our fancy and go on about our business. That definitely would be dope. But now that they've introduced Zombie Brian, I could see the possibility of us getting some more original characters if they wanted to do it. And a gacha would sell like crazy just to have the opportunity to have them all as trophy champions, or to invest in them too if they're really that good. Next up, in the future, can Scopely add WWE Monsters toy line series like they added Zombies and Masters of the WWE Universe? Yes, they could, because it's money and it's wrestling. Like, we had characters like the Yeti and the Gobbledygooker and the Shockmaster, okay? I would not be surprised if we saw like monster variants of champions in here too. And after seeing like how they did the crazy storyline in 2K with Swamp Bray and Frankenbrawn and everything, I could easily see it happening. I wouldn't put it past them. And because of how the niches are with these subcategory champions, the Zombies, the Masters of the WWE Universe, the Hall of Fame, all these characters are usually pretty solid. They go out of their way to like do them justice and make them look beast mode some type of way. So yeah, I could easily see them doing another variant of toy line characters. But what I would really like to see is like the legendary, like the elite collections, like the be all end all versions of the action figures of the wrestlers, because those are like the best wrestling variations. Like, they're commemorating moments or an era of wrestling, as well as like a champion in their prime, and those would be dope. Those would really be dope, because even though we got Rocky Maivia, Blue Chipper, we don't have old school Rock, with the little faded high top and everything. We don't have that. We don't have that version of the Rock. We have the great one, Rock, and he's great. But at the same time, there's other versions of The Rock we could have easily seen by now. We could have easily seen the Brahma Bull. The Brahma Bull, and he could have had that expensive shirt on, have the sunglasses, and fight like that. Or they could give the great one some gear that changes him into Hollywood Rock. The possibilities are endless here, but I could definitely see them doing another toy line later on down the road once they've, done everything with Masters of the WWE Universe as well as the Zombies. But solid question for sure, Ashish. Love your questions, man. You always are bringing something forth that's got my mind thinking. Next up, In the future, can Scopely make and add a manager feature like make Paul Heyman and many other managers? Managers cannot fight or wrestle, but you can equip managers on your superstar like you add trainers and coaches. You can level up your managers by spending coins and currency. Like add another slot in trainers and coaches section. Managers have their own slot like the trainers and coaches have. A manager for your superstar that gives you your superstar a little boost, like reduce your opponent's health 10% or more, reduce opponent's stun turn, or add more stun for your superstars, reduce opponent's bleed damage, reduce opponent's health and MP steal moves. I absolutely agree with this, and I've brought this up in the past. There should be a manager slot. Where we're headed now, okay, way I see it is like this, okay? You already got the option, like literally, it kind of made sense. You're at a 1-star, and then you get to 2-star, you get to use one trainer, you get the 3-star bronze, you get the 2, then you move up and you move up and you move up until you got 4, okay? Now that we're at 5-star, it genuinely makes sense for there to be a 5th slot, and it should be a manager, and I do agree. I talked about this in my last Q&A, actually. Like, Paul Heyman would make sense. He would make sense to do something. Whether, like, for instance, thinking about this, he represented the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, powerhouse. He's representing Roman Reigns right now. What do those two have in common outside of being powerhouses? They use blast gems. Make Paul Heyman have a thing where he adds additional blast gems. Why? Here's why. Because Rusev has left the building. Either you got Rusev or you don't. And Blast Gem characters are still coming out. Manager slot, slip in Heyman, boom. And correct, they shouldn't have to fight. They're managers. So then, here's another thing. Another character, Zelina Vega. What they could do with Zelina, what they missed out on doing with Lana is, Lana could have easily had a trainer and coaching ability, but she also could have been opted as a manager because she was Rusev's manager. Zelina Vega has yet to be in the game. She could be a wrestler, but also have an option for trainer ability and manager slot. Or you could do two versions. You could have a mega superstar version of Zelina that is your go-to, that's going to have a trainer ability or something, right? And then you can have a manager version of Zelina that doesn't fight at all, but gives boosts to whoever she's equipped to. It would make sense. It could be done. It genuinely could be done. Characters that you can literally pull for, the same way that you do straps. I can easily see them having a gacha like that, where you have the managers in there, and if they want to implement the shard system, cool. But when you unlock them, you unlock them. You can level them up just like you would do a trainer. But that's it. It's a full-blown level up. Once they're maxed, they're done. I can easily see it. I can easily see it happening. I can see it working a lot. Because you could come out with a manager version of Lita. You could easily do that. You could bring in Paul Bearer to help out all the Undertakers and help out all the Kanes. You could bring in Bobby the Brain Heenan to help out the Heenan family. So there's the opportunity is there. Whether or not they do it is different. But I would definitely bring this in, and I would have Paul Heyman as the first one. I would definitely have, and I said in my past video, we need a top tier version of Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief. You know, shut up and win, or wreck everyone and leave, right? You could easily have Roman Reigns God tier come into the game as a mega and bring Paul Heyman in as a manager on another gacha. So then you're doubling. If you're really about your money, Scopely, you have people pulling for Roman Reigns and people pulling for Paul so they can have the tandem and go on about their business. It's there. It's just a question of if they want to do it. But genuinely, how they've had it set up for the longest time, you have 2 slots. You get those available. Then you get to the next star rarity. You get another slot. You get to the next star rarity. You get to another slot. 4-star, you're able to use all 4 slots. We're now at 5-star. makes sense to have an additional slot, especially now since we got MP reduction coaches. Yeah, we're going to need something to counter that also. So it makes sense to have an NPC character act as a manager, level them up so you can hit their ability and not have to invest any tokens or nothing in there, because that's just overkill, man. It's already bad enough that you, again, have to level up your heavy hitters, your go-to husbandos and waifus. Then you have to upgrade your NP trainers and coaches, your your move destruction or gem destruction trainers and coaches, your gem generation players and coaches, or your initial board gem appearance trainers and coaches. You get where I'm going with this, okay? It gets to a point where you're going to have something come into play that's going to properly balance out the flow, so it's just not OP all the time. Especially with straps and medals being a thing and perks being a thing, you're going to need something organic and original that's going to be able to properly smooth out the balance, so to speak, when it comes to content in the game that's to come. Especially with 5-star silvers and golds coming in the future. Managers will be a resolution. So solid question there, Ashish. Next up, WrestleMatics. Little different, but what are your thoughts overall about Scopely being a bit more generous with giving away some characters that were previously coveted, or more bluntly, characters that were once behind a paywall or grind wall? I've been on the receiving end of Woken and SB Matt, etc., but also felt burnt when it was someone I lucked out on, only to be essentially given away, like most recently, Masters of the WWE Universe Big E. He went from being a unicorn to someone most players now have. A part of me feels they are doing a solid to the community, but a larger part of me feels like they are only making the gap larger between the free-to-play and the pay-to-play, almost like they are getting rid of the middle ground player by leveling up the free-to-play community. To summarize, this is a game where everyone is trying to get ahead. You have free-to-play, middle ground, lapsed, spender, and pay-to-play. I think there's a second part to this. Am I right? Yes, there is. Do you feel that by giving out these above-average characters, which really only makes the game more competitive among the free-to-play and the middle ground player, is Scopely's way of trying to change the behavior of middle ground players, trying to tempt them to spend more to distance themselves from the free-to-play? On one side, I like this question, but it's a difficult question to answer. So allow me to break this down to you. On one side, I feel like, well, as a player, as an individual player, I shouldn't really be worried about the next man or the other man because I'm my own man. So I should only be worried about my content. Like, if I'm blessed, like, this is how I look at it, okay? I got Tech Masters of the WWE Universe, glowing Phantom Phenom, Undertaker, okay? That makes my roster different from somebody else's. The same way that someone could have Immortal Hulk Hogan separates him or her from me. I feel that at the end of the day, it's ultimately up to the player and how they are going to go about things. Now, you could be a free-to-play player who just caves in. You surrender to the fact that you're never going to be at the apex when it comes to having all the rosters superstars, right? But at the same time, you could be a free-to-play player that takes on the challenge. You figure out a way to work with the free-to-play units that you have to conquer the pay wall, grind wall characters. Now, when you're in the middle, you have a choice. You have the choice, do I continue to invest or do I not? And when you're pay to play, I mean, obviously, it just depends on how much you're willing to spend. But one thing that is for sure when it comes to all facets of players, in order to get anywhere in this game, you're going to have to put in work. Even if you spend money, you're going to have to put in work. You know what I mean? You're going to have to grind out content so you can get resources to further along your roster. And on the other side of things, I can say straight up, yes, they want to put a difference between it because they want to keep those that are bringing in the money. They don't really care about the free to play. They don't really care about the middle ground. They care about what's going to make them revenue. But I also sit back and think there's people over in Champions and Scopely that play the game. Maybe some of them are free to play. Maybe some of them are pay to play, and they log their experiences, and maybe that's how they go about things if they're not going to listen to the community. But I can acknowledge that sometimes it's frustrating. Like, looking at how Woken Matt Hardy's initial launch was. It was a nightmare. The same way as Powerhouse 3 Eyes Kurt Angle's launch was a nightmare. And then looking at how easy it became to unlock them later on. Now, I'm not even going to lie. Big E was genuinely, hands down, one of the best freebies, in a sense, depending on how much work you put in, that you could have walked away with. There was a pay-to-play, pay-to-win option there, but just like Carmella and Six, sometimes you get a free bone that's worth it. Like, you could be a free-to-play unit if you have a free-to-play player, and if you were able to walk away with Big E, just because you got lucky with some free pulls that you did and everything, everybody's scenario is different. There's some people who can pull God-tier units absolutely free. Just like we saw a while back, someone who was able to actually pull Kofi Kingston Against All Odds Modern Era Tech absolutely free from the blitzes. We didn't see it for Hogan, but we saw proof with Kofi that it's possible. So there might be someone out there, and it's also a thing that, like this, I always look at it like this. You got people who play a sport, and they're the best player of that said sport, right? But those are the people that are getting paid to do it, and they're under the spotlight. There could easily be someone that's better than them, but just goes about life differently. And that's how you look at it. Like, I remember when I was in high school, everyone used to talk about Peyton Manning, and you found out that Peyton and Eli have a brother, and from what people would always say, he was a better player than Peyton and Eli combined. He was better than both of them. But things happened, and that didn't come to pass. The same thing could be here, where someone might have pulled Hulk Hogan from those blitzes, but they didn't show the picture. And you know how people are. Oh, if I don't got a screenshot, if I don't got proof, it didn't happen. So everyone's experience is different. You could spend a lot of money on this game and get nothing. You could spend no money on this game and get mad lucky. But everyone's experience is different. You got some people who take this game to the heart. They grind it out. It's not just a job, it's a passion. They love it. They're on top of it. They live and breathe this. You got other people who can easily hop on, complain about this and that, but in reality, they're sitting good. They just want to see the fireworks. So, on one side, yes, there could be a split here because money rules everything when it comes to champions. On the other side, though, it's all about perspective of the player. So it's kind of depends on how you look at it. We could all be looking at the same picture, but we all have different perspectives. So it's about, what do you see? What I see is there's the possibility that there are people that are trying to separate and, so like just keep everybody separated, It is what it is. But on another side, people can easily come together. I don't see why a whale can't give advice to a middle ground player or free-to-play player on how to get ahead. You might not like what he or she has to say, but they're giving you their honest opinion on what you could possibly do. Or maybe there's something you're not doing that could help you get ahead. And there might be a champion that you get that you might feel might be a difference maker, and it ends up not being what you think. And you might get another champion that turns the tide for you completely. So it's all about perspective on this one. It really is. But it is a solid question. I wish I could answer it the proper way, but this is how I really feel. Like, genuinely, there is a chance that Scopely just cares about the money. They care about the whales, the pay to wins, the pay to play, because they keep the lights on. But you know what? There's people out there who don't whale like that crazy, and they still get mad lucky with their pulls. And even if they got a 5-star, guess what? They might not have all the resources to get that 5-star up. or they might have got lucky with a 4-star gold, and they got it, but you still got to do certain things to make that come to light. Because just because, like, pulling the top tier champion is only one part of it. You need the other pieces to the machine so it can be fully functioning. You need the trainers, you need the coaches, you need the straps, you need the medals, you need the perks. And all that costs with the resources. And like I mentioned, 3-star resources in a 5-star meta, you're only going to get so far. And looking at what the broski said earlier, who's only been playing since February, it's going to be different for everybody. But as long as you're hungry, as long as you're ambitious, it doesn't matter what kind of gaps put before you. You're going to dominate because you want to. So I hope I was able to answer that. But very, very good question. It's a possibility on all sides. It's a possibility. But ultimately, it's up to you what you decide for yourself and what path you're going to take on your journey and venture in Champions. Nico Boy 9, what's happening, my brother? Loving the content, keep it coming. I plan to do so. So my question is, what would be the final straw for you to say enough is enough and lay it down? I'm getting to that point myself and was wondering if you felt the same way. Only reason why I have not is because of the time, energy, and money I've invested over 3+ years. I'm trying to stay positive, but I'm at wit's end with them. All right, here's the truth. Here's the real truth. Nico, I love you to death, but you put me on the spot. But the truth will set you free. A lot of people feel like it's so hard to tell the truth. It's actually easier to tell the truth than it is to tell a lie. Lies take too much work because then you got to build up a whole fantasy to solidify that lie. And then all that means is that you put in more work to make something false than the easy effort it was to just be true from the jump. The final straw for me. Real talk, man. I'm a sucker for pain. So, more than likely, I've been done with the game. Pardon me. I've been done with the game for a while. But the people keep me in there. I meet good people. I meet a lot of good people. I meet my subscribers. I meet people who watch my content, man, and I try to be that beacon of hope. I try to be that voice of reason and understanding in the game where others can't provide it. I love my faction fam. I love my former faction fam and friends that I've been blessed to meet along the way. I've been playing this game since its launch, man. And I'm heartbroken at what I've seen. I could get really emotional about this because it's just a God honest truth. I'm really disappointed in where the game's ended. And I want it to get better. And money, you can't take it with you at the end of the day. Everyone has different hobbies. Some people, they rebuild and refurbish old school cars. Some people travel. Some people like to go out and eat at different exotic restaurants. And then you got us. We play a mobile game. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. The difference with me is that I play multiple mobile games, so I know what I'm trying to bring and present to the table of Scopely and Champions, because I'm at a wit's end. I want everybody to win. I got friends who were free to play. I got friends who wailed out. I got friends that spend a little here and there and get lucky. I mean, my girl Mima, she's dealing with school and everything, and she got blessed with Zombie Austin finally. And like, to some people, they might feel like Zombie Austin is a cheat code. He is a cheat code, but he makes content so much easier when you have him. And yeah, you got other options in skip turn and everything, and now you got straps available. Like my striker Cena can skip turn because of the strap that he got. But I like seeing when people win. I hate seeing people cheated. And because of where my brothers and content are, not all of them, I try to be the voice that tries to understand all sides of the spectrum. So I've been done with the game for a while. That's why you don't really see me do pulls like that. But when I got the Undertaker pull, I had to show it because it was free to play, and I have to show those moments for the free to play side of my viewers and the free to play side of the community that, hey, it's possible. You can pull something good when you least expect it. Absolutely free. Don't have to spend a dime. But it's become a pay to win scenario. It is a pay to play game. It's a pay to win game. And it's very disheartening. It's sad. And to know that they could be so much better than what they are, man. I think I've been on the final straw. I just don't think it's the straw that's broke the camel's back yet. Because, it's one thing, like, for instance, when I brought up the $200 superstar loot offer. It's one thing for me to preach about that. It's another thing for me to go and spend $200. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good banners that come out. Like, there's the banner out for Zombie Taker. There was the banner for The Fiend. Both champions that I really want. I really want them. But I don't need them. And, I'm holding on for a legendary strap for Hogan one day. I'm holding on to a legendary strap for The Fiend one day. Because there's certain characters that I really love. But I also have to embrace, like, this just isn't the period where I want to spend disposable income. This isn't the period where I want to dive into my IGC reservoir. It just isn't. I'm not in that mode. And I've been able to dominate. Just because something new and shiny's there doesn't mean you always got to bite the carrot. You don't got to pull the trigger. But I'm at wit's end too because I've put so much money into the game. And it's been a humbling experience. Spending a lot of money, like the videos that you've seen. I could spend $100 on this game and walk away nothing. Then I could spend $1 and get a 3-star Ronda Rousey, or spend $20 and walk away with a 3-star gold Nikolai Volkov. I've shown the spectrum. Throughout my videos, you can go and check it out. I've shown the ups and downs. I remember doing the key pulls, doing multiple key pulls, hoping to get somebody new who wasn't even God tier and got nothing. So it's kind of a thing. The people keep me going. I'm on the last straw, but the straw hasn't broken yet. But I have faith. I have strong faith. But, expectations versus reality, man. I have expectations that champions will rise up and be a game like Dokkan Battle or Fate Grand Order or One Piece Treasure Cruise, Dragalia Lost, Seven Deadly Sins, Genshin Impact, Arknights. All games that make mad money. But they take care of their communities. They listen to their players. They get involved with their players. I miss the champion streams where they actually tried to talk to you and discuss things, showed us designs and broke things down. Those streams would have so many people in there, whether they were trolling or just there to listen, just to know that champions, you can talk to them, you can reach them, you can interact with them and get an honest answer. And sadly, that's not the case. So it's kind of one of those things where I do what I can where I can. If I choose to spend, I'll spend. If I choose not to, I won't. I love all the characters that I have up to this point. I have no regrets in any of the decisions I made. I just look at my champions differently and be like, well, I took you up this far. Maybe I'll take you a little further so then I can be at terms with why I took you up or invested in you. And, the people that I interact with Phoenix Rises, we're going through things, but I love all my faction mates. I'm more upset and disappointed in some because I can look at them and see the vision of someone being greater than what they are. But at the end of the day, I'm also there to hold them down because without loyalty, you have nothing. So I've kind of been there for a while now. And with how things just keep getting shot in the foot in champions, I'm still there. But I think when core people that I care about stop playing the game, I think that's when I'll officially part ways. Because if the people that I care about and the people that I'm cool with have reached a point where they're just like, I'm done, then I don't really see the point of me going forward, because that venture, like, I could stay as long as possible, but if all the people that I care about in the community start falling off and stuff, that's when I have to sit back and be like, yes, something's genuinely wrong. Something's been wrong, but there's still an effort, a chance for things to turn around. But when key people like mentors and stuff start falling off from the game, that's when I might be like, yeah, it's time for me to tip my hat and roll off into the sunset. But thank you, my boy. Thank you so much. And we're just pushing forward, man. We're pushing forward. Dang, that's just real. Just real, man. I love the people. It's the people. It's you, my beloved hashtag champions fam. It's my faction family. It's former faction mates that I still keep in touch with. I mean, literally, that's just how it is. And the characters, like certain characters, I have certain champions I can look at, and it's a story. It's a plot. There's something behind it. There's a reason. There's my people that I focused in on because of meta. There's others that I focus in on because I just love that character so much that I couldn't go wrong with investing in them. So, it's just kind of one of those things. It's just like how I play Pokemon, man. You're all in or you're not. And I'm one of those people that was all in from the jump. I was so excited when this game launched, and to see the ups and downs of what MLCs have become, to go from a feud meta to now we're in a event meta. It's crazy. It's crazy. It went from a point where it meant something when you scored, 10 million feud. Then they rebalanced the amount of points you did. And then it went from, well, that doesn't really matter anymore. It's more or less, what can you do with the amount of blitzes here? Or how many showdown mode matches are you going to knock out? Or, how many heals can you do? And it just becomes, it's evolving. It's like watching a civilization evolve, and starting from nothing to becoming something. And Rome wasn't built in a day, but it sure as hell took a day for that thing to end. And it's not the end yet, but every day it's like walking on eggshells. But I want to be there for my fam to know that they got someone they can rely on, no matter the position, no matter the role. So we'll just see how it happens. But I got love for you, Nico, man. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I appreciate the question, because it's always good to be honest with yourself. I don't even care what time this video's at by now. Obviously, we long past the short, sweet, and brief, but I like these questions. These are solid questions. These are really solid questions. Okay, Josh Bowen. Why do most YouTubers justify Scopely's actions and don't stand up for the players when we get disrespected as players? Just wondering. Everybody's different, man. That's a key thing. It's just the genuine truth. Everyone takes things different. Like, you look at a guy like Gearsan. Gearsan literally sits down and answers questions for everybody. Like, he's falling back now because he's back to work, but he made it clear, like, I'm spending time with my daughter. I'm going through health issues. But he still would take time out to answer questions on Twitter, answer questions in his comment section. And, there are people who are literally just mean to him, and he's the one that's helping. He's the guy that's helping everybody out, and he gets attacked. So, one thing I can say is this, and it's not, I have to be that guy because I just gotta be honest, okay? Because certain YouTubers do work with Scopely and Champions, you gotta do what's best for business. So, in other words, they might disagree with something that Champions is doing, but they're not going to speak out on it, if that makes sense. But there have been plenty of times where they have rebelled in their own way to let you know that they aren't with it. They don't agree with it. And that's why you get guys like me and Gearsan who will talk about a contest, and be honest, like, look, this is a joke. Don't do it. It doesn't have to be a blatant F you champions or Scopely. It could just be a subtle thing like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is butt cheeks. Don't do it. I mean, if you want to do it, then do it. If you want to spend 300,000 in-game cash for 50 shards of a character, then I mean, go ahead and do it. But this is hot garbo. If you want to go all in to get a 3-star bronze zombie Striker Owens, then go on and do what you got to do. People can disagree with something, but not everyone's going to be vocal about it. It's just one of those things. Everyone's different. When I'm upset about certain things, I vent it so it's out because I don't need it on my chest. Others, everybody's different. Some people are passive aggressive. Some people literally have just been through such a hard knock life that it doesn't surprise them. So they handle things differently too. But when I think about it, I don't really know any YouTuber that genuinely justifies Scopely's actions. I really don't. And the ones that you're saying that you might be suggesting justify it, they're the first ones basically on the front line trying to get Scopely to fix the shit. Like, Gearsan has done multiple videos talking about what would you like to see change in the game. He will go and present that to Scopely. And just like I mentioned earlier about like the leaders of Town Hall, they can put together a list like Big Papa Brian, Davey D, Benny, DJ Anon ZT, Joseph with a Z. All these dudes could literally sit down, go through their comments, present it all to the community manager. The community manager then runs this list to Scopely and Champions. And they don't get nothing back. Or it turns into a big argument that you don't hear. But because you're not there, you think that they don't care. And that's something that I'm feeling in some type of way because there's too many people, and it's not you, Josh. It's not you at all. But a lot of people don't understand. It's like everything has to be in the open for them to comprehend that it is happening. They have to see it to understand. There are people who bash the top 10 faction leaders of the leaderboard, bash them saying they don't care when they're the ones that are actually putting up the most fight when it comes to constructive criticism to get things fixed in the game. You say there's many people who want help, they get help, but because it's not the type of help that they imagine, expectation versus reality, they get upset and they feel a certain type of way. The same thing is here. Everyone addresses things differently. I might pop off on something. Doesn't mean Gearsan's going to. Doesn't mean Big Papa Brian's going to. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone addresses issues differently. If it doesn't need to be spoken on, it doesn't need to be. Because guess what? If you want me to address something that someone in Town Hall is already addressing, there's no need for me to talk about it because it's already been addressed. You know what I mean? If someone already is trying to find out that answer, it's not my role to be messenger on this situation. So with this one, a lot of them, because they work close to Scopely, they aren't able to vocalize certain things that they disapprove. But they aren't mute. They can easily speak on it if they wish. But things happen behind closed doors that others don't see. And because it doesn't get talked about, it seems like they don't care. But all the guys that I know, from Scopely content creators to those who don't even work with Scopely, they give a damn about the people. They care about the people. They fight for the people tooth and nail. And that's just like any world, you know? I mean, you could literally be fighting for everything, and you're going to have those few that say no one cares about us. And it's like, if you knew what kind of argument we just have 4 hours with the community manager here, it's like I'm fighting for you, and you're sitting here saying, "Oh, you don't do nothing for me." It is what it is, bruh. It is what it is, bruh. It's one of those situations, but genuinely, All the guys I know that do that work with Scopely are stand-up guys, and they do fight for the community, even if it doesn't seem like it. Everyone has their different ways of fighting. Everyone has their different ways of standing up and doing their part. And these guys and gals do their part tenfold. So, with that being said, I'm sorry if a lot of players are feeling disrespected, but there are many people who you might not even see as someone who would care about you that actually do care about you, and they are listening. But guess what? I don't have to say anything. I can listen to you all day and still get that message across to the people that need to know it. We don't have to share a word. We don't have to do nothing like that. I can literally comb through the comments, pick up everything you said, and go and shoot it and be like, hey, this is what's up. Could you do something about it? And never say nothing to you. And I've done more for you than you'd ever do for me. So it's just one of those toss-ups, man. Like, I understand why people would be frustrated, but ultimately, man, people are trying. People are fighting, even if it doesn't seem like people aren't fighting for you, because you might not know what's going on, and it might not seem apparent, but there's a lot of people trying to fight the good fight for the community altogether, free to play and pay to play. There are many players, top tier players, and people that are just, landmarks and like cornerstones in the community that are trying their best to get the point across, the WWE champions, to make the overall experience better for everybody. But this is definitely a deep question, and I thank you for it, Josh. It is a solid question to ask, because I understand when watching content and you know what's going on and you see what's happening on on Twitter and on Reddit. I get where you're coming from, but some things don't always seem the way they appear, and sometimes a good fight's being fought without you even knowing. But blessings to you, Josh, and thank you for the question. Really good question. And thank you for getting me in my emotions. Y'all been hitting me with some solid questions for sure. Final question here for this video from my boy Eric Lemus, aka Stone Cold. I said Stone Cold. Okay. Name 3 moments that you would never forget. Anything related to the game. Could be within a faction or the game or whatever you want. 3 moments that I will never forget. Well, as an overall moment, as a faction, Crown era, baby. No lie. No regrets. Learning curve for me all the way around. Never was the leader of any guild. Never, nothing. I have no regrets there. Beautiful. Took a faction that was nothing. Got a bunch of people together. Created a family. Forged bonds with people. Broke bonds with people. Went from nothing to a top 100 faction, even if it was temporary. I always looked at it like this too with me. I always approach things differently than other people. It's like some people, they're about being a constant. They have to constantly be number one. They gotta constantly be that. They have to solidify their place in the world. I'm the kind of guy that would be like this. I would rather be champion once if I were a wrestler. I would rather be world heavyweight champion once and have a memorable run for however long it is, even if it was for a month. Going and having crazy matches on Raw or SmackDown, having a steel cage match one week, having a triple threat match the next week, doing a ladder match or TLC match in another. I would rather be champion for a month and have it be memorable than be champion multiple times over and sit back and realize you were champion for this long, or you were champion this many times for this many reigns, but that also means you lost just as many. That's the better way for me to put it. I'd rather be champion one time and have a memorable ride with it than be champion multiple times over and deteriorate the mystique. That's the best way for me to put it. I'd rather have a great storyline with an okay closeout match than an amazing match with an okay storyline. Crown Era might not have been built to last forever, but Crown Era served its purpose. It not only gave me constructive criticism and insight to me as an individual, but it helped develop and grow and evolve players to become better than what they were. You left out better than what you were. And that's how I look at the Crown Era. So for a faction, Crown Era in general, never will be a leader again. No way. I just know because of my morale, and I just know how my name is within the community. I know no one would rock with me. I tried it before. I tried. Didn't work. Didn't have the tools. People were over it. I'm done. Crown Era, that's one. For life. Within the game, pull-wise, my favorite pulls that I'll never forget. Pulling AJ Styles, 3-star silver. Pulling AJ Styles at 3-star silver. Getting Jeff Hardy at free-to-play, as a free-to-play unit during the Hardy Boys MLC. Back when we had the gold vaults, the silver gold vaults, right? Bronze, gold, platinum vaults, right? Pulling that clutch, getting him and then pulling him at 3-star silver right afterwards when that was a thing. That was dope. And I have to say, getting Undertaker, man. Undertaker's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Getting Tech Undertaker off a free pull, that was definitely dope. So pull-wise, I've pulled a lot of good people, but it's just certain people that hit. Loved AJ Styles, was able to get him 3-star silver. He carried me through so much content. Before Ricochet, before Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles was my guy. Back when the 3-star meta was a thing, man. AJ bodied people the same way Striker Bray bodied people, Balor Club bodied people, Stardust. You know, certain people just stood out, man. But pulling AJ Styles at 3-star silver, Jeff Hardy, getting him as the free-to-play unit, and then getting the 3-star silver fuse for him, that was amazing. And getting Undertaker Tech was amazing. My third and final moment that I will never forget that pertains to the game. Man. I think honestly just starting to do videos. Because that still has to do with WWE Champions. Not knowing what I was doing. Watching videos from Gearson. Watching videos from Big Papa Brian. Listening in to the Tuvement podcast. Asking questions, the Lil C24 Mark Wrangley, and him actually answering back. You know, blessings, man. I got no regrets. I'm grateful that I did this channel. I'm grateful for everyone that I've come across. I mean, back to Crown Era, I got a lot of great members from just doing videos. Like, you can even go back to the old videos and you see it. Like, people reaching out and being like, hey, I want to join Crown Era. And it turned into something great, man. A lot of beautiful people. A lot of beautiful people, even though I was an ugly leader. I meant well, but it just didn't work out. And back then, I was young and dumb. Sometimes I took the game too serious. Sometimes I was just not up to snuff for it without admitting, like saying, hey, I'm burnt out. No excuses, just reality checks. But making content, doing this channel, being able to help people was a blessing within itself. So those are my 3 moments. I got more. I got more for sure. There's no way around it. Like, I like that. That's the cool thing about games. Like, the now know, like, to go from playing console games, PS2s and stuff, right? Can't take it with you. playing Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS's and Switches to now playing a game so hardcore faithfully on your phone. Going from a phone where every superstar was just a still picture of the image to literally playing on a track phone where literally the only time the superstar moved was after you made the gem match, and doing feuds like that, to upgrading the phones to see them come to life finally after years of them holding you down, and pulling your first 3-star, pulling your first 2-star gold, pulling your first 4-star, taking up your first 3-star gold and your first 4-star bronze. The journey itself is what was beautiful. The journey itself is what was beautiful, man. And that's why, like, your boy tired. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm tired. Enough's enough. But the people who leave me questions, the people that support me, tell me to keep going, the people that love me in my faction, the people that hate me because of what I put them through, to have people block you because of a game, that's another level. That's tough. That's tough. But I learned. Unlike some people, I feel like sometimes the only way that you can be sane is if you embrace insanity. You gotta embrace the good and the evil. I had my good days, I had my bad days, but I learned and I became a better person when it was all said and done. Sometimes you can learn life lessons in places you least expect it. I learned a lot of great life lessons from this game alone, and so Crowned Era played a crucial role that I'll never forget. The entirety of it, from start to finish, Crowned Era played a crucial role in my development overall, man. First time ever leading a faction, leading people, having people believe in my vision. To see it come to light, even though it didn't last, people moved on to other factions, became top tier players, and played their role to a T elsewhere. Road to redemption, having personal demons and stuff coming to conflict, where I went solo dolo without a faction for a while and was still able to dominate and do what I can where I could. Getting with a new faction. I'm just grateful for the journey. So, 1 for Crowned Era. 2 for pulling like my favorite characters, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Undertaker. Getting those guys the way I did. Firstly, Black Friday pulls, getting AJ like that, a 3-star silver at the very last, at the very end, got him. Unlocked Jeff Hardy after the delays. I remember when they used to have that. I remember how they did that with Arn Anderson too, where, play this tour today and you'll get the free to play MLC unit, and then next thing you know, it's been delayed another day, but it'll be up for sure this time. To get Jeff Hardy and to love him, to fall in love with him, and then to pull him right after, get him at 3-star silver, invest in him, and then to do that free pull, get 4-star silver, no card motion moving around, just a blurred out card. And then here comes the Druids, and here comes Undertaker popping up, glowing. Those are beautiful memories, man. Beautiful moments, and making this channel, doing this content, getting the opportunity to talk to each and every single one of y'all the way I do, for good or bad, constructive critiques. Sometimes there are moments where literally I was completely childish, but I learned. Literally, you go from the beginning of my videos to where I am now. You hear it in my voice. You hear how I carry my videos. Growth, maturity, and learning, and education. Knowledge is power. That's key. That's something that no one can ever take away from you. And I learned a lot. Learned a lot from playing this game. And I got a lot more to learn. And I also got a lot more to teach and to give out to people. So I'm just grateful for every single one of y'all, man. Definitely. Mad love always, Stone Cold. Peace and blessings to you. I didn't even realize that you were G9. But mad love to the OG, the original G9. Mad love to everybody, man. Like, straight up. Whenever it comes to Crown Era, because of how I am and where I am in my space, it's always going to be love. Lucario 24, 44 Inc., Stone Cold, G9, Shoddy 700, Breathless, okay, Gunshin Black, all right, Hartley Handsome, Jiffy Pop, Bendy One, The Siege, man, Heavy Roller, The Big Man, DJ Fuego, Anna. I could just keep going on and on because there are just so many incredible people. And even if they don't fuck with me, hey, I got nothing but love for you. Y'all helped me become a better person. A lot of y'all were older than me. Y'all taught me to man up. You taught me to deal with some things aren't going to work out the way you want at the end. You know, so I'm always going to be grateful for that. And I got to do it one time, even though I'm with Phoenix Rises. Crown Era, baby. For life. So, thank y'all for another amazing session. This is a crazy long video. I applaud anyone who watches this until the very end. And if you watch it until the very end, let me know in the comments below. You have any further questions after this? Then cool. Technically, this is kind of my version of a podcast, and I also want to show this too. I'm not the most technologically savvy guy. There's no way around that, okay? I'm not the guy with the backdrops and the crazy intros and stuff. I'm doing this all off of my phone. But I've made it up to 900 subscribers. The point is, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, you have a passion, do it. Doesn't matter. If you have a medium to get your point across, to help others, do it. You know, everybody else got the cool intros. They got the little cut scenes in between matches and everything. But I'm just keeping it real, keeping it raw, building it from the ground up, taking my time. And I'm blessed with every chance that I get to wake up another day and make another video. So, if I can do this, you can do this. And things don't come overnight. Things don't happen overnight. Sometimes they do. But never take any opportunity for granted. Be thankful. Be blessed. Know that you're somebody. Even if you feel like a loser, know that you are a winner. Know that you can overcome any obstacle when it's all said and done. And that's coming from me, the bad guy of WWE Champions, Zeke 410, here with another Champions video. So, with that being said, y'all, hope you enjoyed this one. Bad times don't last, but champions do. And bad guys do too. Mad love to each and every single one of you, my beloved #champions fam. This is definitely a long video. One of my longest for sure. And sorry it wasn't short, sweet, and brief. But I'm thankful for all these questions, man. I'm definitely thankful for all these questions from Eric Lemus, my boy Stone Cold, to Josh Bowen, to Nico Boy 9, to WrestleMatics, to Ashish Kumar. Always coming through with some beautiful questions, man. Bradley, keep your head up, my boy. Motley Rage Gaming, stay strong, brother. You'll get there in the time. Josh Claiborne and Richie Gaming. Thank you all for making this a very awesome Q&A session within the Champions Lounge. And we will do more of these. Let me know your thoughts. And again, if you reach the end of this, let me know in the comments below. There's a few going on this weekend. So by all means, if you were able to listen to this while you were feuding, hey, you were doing something good, right? But mad love to each and every single one of you, my beloved #champions fam. Stay tuned until next time. And thank you for all the love and all the support. Peace!